Pratham, I'm assuming you're a Sanatani.
Hello.
Hi, Pratham. How are you?
Yeah. Hi. Thanks for taking me in.
Yeah. You are a Sanatani?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. Joining us from India?
Yeah. Actually, I was about to go to sleep while I was watching the stream. I can speak for like 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. Apologies for the late hour because unfortunately, our work time finishes around 5 p.m. in the UK, and we can only start after that. We do have day jobs here. It's not like we're all free.
Yeah.
So, and in India, it's quite late. By the time we start, it's 9:30. By the time, I think it's probably already nearly midnight or something. So, yeah, we do apologize. It's just trying to sync the time, working time and free time is not easy. Yeah. So, Pratham, what brings us to the stream?
No problem. Thanks for elaborating that much. No, nothing in general. I actually saw a few streams of yours, like few reels of yours, and that got me into certain streams, and like I like these discussions. That's why I also might be aware of few things that I can help you out with, maybe. So maybe.
Okay. So today we are discussing, as you know, our topic today is the Trimurti, Trinity, or Tawheed.
Mm-hmm.
You follow Hinduism as a religion, or is it more like a cultural thing for you? Assalamu alaikum, Brother Muhammad.
Walaikum salam, Brother Hashim. Walaikum salam, Brother Salahuddin.
Thanks.
Alhamdulillah. I can't stay for long, unfortunately. I
That's
have
fine.
to go somewhere. But
Yes, that's okay. Thanks for dropping in. All right. So, Pratham, I was asking if you are more of a cultural Hindu or you actually practice your religion as a Sanatani Dharma.
I practice religion.
Okay. So if I were to ask you who is the supreme God, according to your belief, what would you say?
Many Hindus call it Brahman. Many Hindus call it Param Shiva. That's it. Like God is God. That's a conceptual thing. When you refer to God, I also think of that God that you're referring, like the ultimate reality of everything.
So which sampradaya do you belong to?
Um, uh, so I'm a upasaka of a. You can see like I chant Gayatri mantra every day. So
Sorry, I can barely hear you. You need to speak up.
hello.
Yeah, which tradition of Hinduism do you belong to?
I do meditation and upasana. I
Okay.
do upasana of a particular deity, but due to my practice, it's not advisable to name what you're doing or what mantra you're doing. So I
So
would like to.
which particular deity would that be?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like due to, it's not advisable to say it.
Why? Is it a secret?
Yeah.
Why would your faith be a secret? Is it not something that you want to share with other people?
My faith is open, but my practice is secret.
Okay. No, I'm not asking about the practice. I'm asking about the name of the deity.
That is what my path
Okay.
is. Right, in the
That's fine. If you don't want to name your deity, that's fine. But you mentioned Brahman.
Yeah,
I believe
just wait
it's,
to ask. Sorry, Hashim.
yeah, go ahead.
But he made a comment, right? You made a comment right at the beginning, and you said that we believe in one God, and whatever God you believe in my mind, we believe in the same thing. That's not actually true, because there's different concepts of God that people believe in. So someone to make a statement like that is actually hasn't fully thought through what they're saying. So when you say we believe in God, people believe in different types of God, right? And so it's important to understand that before making such a statement. So the question needs to be to you is, what God do you believe in?
Yeah, I think he doesn't want to reveal the deity he believes in, but he mentioned this Parabrahman, which. So, Pratham, do you believe Parabrahman is Nirguna? It's
Nirguna,
without
like
form? and without attributes. So nirguna and nirakar, you would call it.
Nirakar is formless, Nirguna is attributeless, right?
Yeah. So do you believe those? Do you believe
So
that is formless?
when yeah, when the basic concept is like when the um, awareness, um, the awareness which we call as consciousness, takes on the form, this world is the projection of it. So, and as this world is a projection of it, then we as conscious being need to realize that nirakar with the sakar form to actually be liberated. So
No,
that
but
is the
you
general.
you cannot have both. You cannot have form and formless, and attribute and attributeless. It's a contradiction in terms, isn't it?
So
Are you coming from a Advaita Vedanta background?
not really. I subscribe to the belief, but
Do you subscribe to the Puranas?
I'm in the chanting phase of
Second?
yeah. So I'm in the chanting phase of my practice. Like I chant. I
Yeah, but they
that's
all
what.
chant, the people who are in Bhakti Puja, they chant as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
all
yeah.
Hindus chant. I mean, I don't know which special chanting Hindu you are, but it
I
seems
mean,
like you don't want to disclose what you believe for some reason. Why do I sense this insecurity in you?
um, see, um, a mantra practice is something like you recite a mantra, okay, that you get from someone, and you recite it in a particular manner, in a particular way that you have been asked to recite, and that gives you a result that you can realize within yourself. Like there is a paradigm shift within yourself, and you know that your perception towards the world is changing. Okay, so this is a this is elementary, but this is a serious practice. Okay, people of Advaita Vedanta are very scholastic, very scholarly people. Okay, they have theories, they have philosophies that I might not be able to fully comprehend. So that's why I didn't say
But
that
you
I'm
don't follow that Vaita Vedanta, do you?
well Advaita Vedanta as for like it's all one, so without duality. So that's what Hinduism is all about, right?
Yeah, I know, but I'm asking if you follow Advaita Vedanta philosophy or you don't.
I
Why
subscribe.
are you being so cagey, man? Come on, just be out with it, whatever you believe. We are not going to put you in a corner. At least we know you're sincere and honest.
Okay,
Every time I asked you, you seem to evade the question about
I'm a
who your
Shakti
God
person.
is, how
Okay,
you
fine.
worship him, this kind of things. You're giving a more generic view. There's no generic view in Hinduism. It's very subjective in Hinduism, depending on which tradition of Hinduism you follow, which sampradaya you follow, which in fact even which geographic area you live in. It's very traditional in that sense.
But the basic tenets are the same, right?
There's no basic tenet, trust me.
Jagat.
Everyone's basic. So if I asked a Vaishnavite,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, who is your supreme God? They'll probably tell me
Mm-hmm.
Vishnu. You ask a Shiva,
Absolutely
they'll tell you Shiva. You
right.
ask them, is Shiva and Vishnu the same? They'll say no. But then they both emanate or, come from this Brahman.
Uh-huh.
So this kind of, this is the tradition they follow normally. But at least they'll tell me that for them, the Vishnu is a supreme God or Shiva is a supreme God.
So what does it matter if Vishnu is a supreme god or Shiva is a supreme god? The
That is what
idea
they
is
say.
God.
We are not going to
God.
interpret for them. So if you ask a Muslim and the Muslim tells you that Allah is the supreme God, you're not
Yeah.
going to turn around and tell the Muslim, oh no, Muhammad is also one of your, supreme gods or something like that. That would be rubbish because you cannot tell someone what they follow if they give you proof and evidence from the scripture. So those people who follow the Puranas, for example, so if you follow the Vishnu Purana, you'll give them Vaishnavite kind of tradition they'll be following, and they'll say, according to our scriptures, this is the supreme God. Similarly, you ask the Shivites, they'll tell you Shiva, according to the Shiv Purana, is the supreme God. You ask the Shaktis, the Shaktas, they'll tell you Shakti is the supreme goddess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
Vaishnavas don't follow don't particularly come from the Vishnu Purana, but they follow the lineage of the teachings of Chaitanya Dev.
No, but they consider Vishnu to be the primary supreme God.
Yeah, Krishna, Vishnu.
So you can't say they don't. That's the reason I'm
I'm
a
not
bit
saying they
suspicious
don't. I'm
when
saying
a
the
Hindu tells me that they don't follow a supreme God, and they consider, because there's no temples of Brahman, which you mentioned initially as this, you know,
hmm,
someone who is has no form, no attributes, and he's
the
just
purpose of temple is not
an
to worship
existence.
Brahman. Like
So again,
the purpose of temple is to basically host a deity
to
to
worship. Come on, are you
to
going to even
worship
change the purpose of a temple?
to
The whole
worship the
idea of a temple is people go there and worship the god and the goddesses.
yeah the worship the deity, not
Exactly.
Brahman. Deity is
That's why I'm telling
not
you there's no
Brahman.
temples dedicated to Brahman because he's not worshipped.
Yeah,
In fact,
so
okay, let me ask you this. Does Brahman have a free will? Does he have a
uh,
will to do anything?
no, but free will comes from Brahman.
No, no, but does he himself have a will to do anything?
He him for to something to have a will, you have to have a mind, right? So a mind comes from the projection of Brahman, which is
And
the Shakti,
so he
which
must
is
have a mind, right?
um, a
Is he
mind.
conscious? Is he conscious?
Yeah. The
So if he's
conscious,
conscious, then he should have a will.
no, not necessarily.
Well, if you're conscious, then how is that possible without a mind?
So will comes when there is a desire that arises in the mind, isn't it?
Okay, I would be
So
reluctant to worship a god who doesn't have a will to do anything.
don't have to. You can follow the path that you are ascribed to
No, I'm asking
as.
about you.
Huh?
How can you worship a god who doesn't even have a will to do anything? Okay,
I don't know.
let me ask you this question. You believe that this Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva are manifestations of Brahman, am I right?
Um, they're all deities. Yeah,
No, they are
they are.
supreme gods. Come on, they're Ishwar.
Yeah, they are deities.
No, not
That's
just deities. Deities are like devas, much lower
yeah,
in the hierarchy of Hindu gods.
yeah.
Ishwar are like the top, this top three, the Trimurti, for example, which I just asked you about.
Oh,
Is the Trimurti a manifestation of Brahman?
yeah. You can consider it like
Okay,
that.
was that manifestation of the Trimurti from Brahman, was it willingly or it was involuntary?
Mm, it's a very like meta spiritual question, even in our field. Like you're
Yeah.
basically saying that why this world has come to existence. If I have
No,
to,
I'm asking even before that. The
uh,
intention or the will itself manifests as the
exactly.
Trimurti. I'm asking you about that. Was it done willingly by Brahman, or was it an involuntary action from him?
So that is what I'm saying. Like when Brahman has a will to do something, like to project Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiv, Maheshwar, then there is a duality, right? So therefore, he's creating something that projecting something that is the world, that is the creation of the world. So basically, you're asking why this world is created. If
Not
that is
why, not why. I'm asking you for the source, the cause.
the cause of why the world is created, okay.
No, I'm asking for the cause of the Ishwar of Hinduism, of the supreme gods in Hinduism. The Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, the Trimurti. I'm
Mhm.
asking you for the cause of that.
So Brahma is basically the facet which is responsible for, you know.
Yeah, I'm not asking for the roles. I know the roles of the three. I'm just asking you what is the cause? What brought them into existence?
Okay, like you might want to say that that is the
I don't want to say I'm asking questions and don't try to imply things that I'm going to say. So I don't want you to read my mind. Just answer the question, which is a very basic question. For us, we have
yeah.
only one God. We don't have these issues like the way you do. The reason you're struggling now is because it is not something which is coherent, doesn't make sense. So if you have a God who is caused by something else, then that cause would be the God of these Trimurti?
So you're looking at the angle of Trimurti. That's why I'm explaining from the angle of Trimurti. Okay. If but the basic origin is like Shiv is projecting the Shakti, and the Shakti is the entire world that we have. Okay. Then within the Shakti lies everything like Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar, everything. But the Param Shiv, the ever existing awareness, existence, okay, that is compulsively, you can say, or willfully, you can say, we don't know. Okay, we don't speculate on that. We might not, we might never know in this lifetime. There is no, at least I don't know of any scripture that talks of what made it. You can hear of theories like why this it came into place, but nobody can tell you for sure, okay, this is the reason. Okay,
But if you
that
don't know the basics, it just shows that if you don't know the basic cause of all of this existence, then that shows that Hinduism for thousands of years, you guys are still searching. You call yourselves seekers of truth,
yeah.
whereas in Islam we have been told directly by through revelation about God Almighty. We didn't have to go through this trial and error like the way you're doing now, where you're struggling with the most basic concept about these existential questions.
No, these are
You,
not
you
exist.
mentioned something very interesting, and that actually shows me what your tradition is, which you tried to, not reveal earlier. You said it is that Shiva is the one who created the Shakti, which is this universe, and so on, which includes Brahma and Vishnu as well, isn't it? So
Not
it
entirely,
puts,
but continue.
yeah, it puts you as a Shivite. So for you, you come from that tradition. Am I right?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Why didn't you
If
reveal it earlier? Why were you being so cagey earlier when I asked you very specifically, what is your sampradaya?
I told you clearly, right?
No, you
I
didn't.
told you
I
that
was waiting for that.
I practice a
Anyway,
month.
at
I
least
can't
it was revealed
I
through
give
your
you a good
conversation.
explanation.
But I think the answer, maybe some other Hindu might be able to answer if you can't. But
The thing
appreciate
is,
your.
no Hindu will be able to answer that question. The
What
reason no
question?
Hindu will be able to answer that question because it's
What
illogical in nature. Look, Pratham, you tried to answer a very simple question, and you've been evading the answer by trying to use all of these theological, philosophical ideas that have no basis in reality. That's why when you come and you speak to Hindus about these basic questions, simple concepts, origins, you're not able to answer. You're saying it's a projection, everything is a projection of this God, but you're not basing what is the basis of this projection? Who is the originator? What are, what is the quality of that originator? What is the purpose? You're explaining using, theologies and philosophies just doesn't make any sense. So you can't even clearly comprehend and coherently explain these answers. That's why, you try to explain this, forget explaining it to an adult, trying to explaining it to a child. They have no idea what
Yeah.
you're talking about. And then
first? I'm
what
getting
you're
a lot
doing,
of interruptions while speaking. I'm
Why
speaking.
gymnastics are a thing when you come to asking about Hinduism? People, they should be able, like Brother Salahuddin said, children should be able to understand the most basic thing about God. Look, as Muslims, we understand we cannot understand God fully, but at least we know that He communicated to us through His revelation, through the Quran, about what He is, rather than us speculating about Him. And as Muslims, we don't speculate about Him beyond what Allah and the Rasul, Prophet peace be upon him, has revealed to us. But in your case, like I said, the Hindus are still struggling about the supreme God, who that is. None of them worship Brahman. Brahman doesn't even have a will. Okay, you call it a consciousness. You don't know what this consciousness is, because for you, everything, Brahman is within everything. So for you, atom and molecules are conscious. Am I right?
So, what is worship to you?
No, no, before
What
we go that, our atoms and molecules,
you are
according to
saying?
you, your
No, no.
pantheistic or panentheistic view, are atoms and molecules conscious according to you?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so everything is conscious, yeah?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, prove to me atom is conscious.
Um. Well, the the disparity between the proton and the electron, maybe. You see, like, this is the
Whoa, whoa, whoa! What
concept.
do you mean disparity? How does that make it conscious?
Yeah,
You know, this
so
is
you
word gymnastics. You think we were born yesterday? Mashallah, brother Subboor is doing his masters, in this
um,
topic. So don't try to pull a fast one on us.
yeah, you're actually preaching and you're interrupting. Like, you're not also not good in giving out good impressions. Let me
Uh,
at least speak like
wait,
what
wait.
I'm.
No need to play the emotional card now. We gave you enough
I'm not
time.
playing card.
Brother, we
Can
gave you
I
enough
just
time to respond.
can I just add something about impression? I
Yeah,
mean, what impression is worst? Questioning someone's belief or telling someone to worship an idol? Clearly, asking children to worship an idol and to bow down to an idol and to feed an idol is the worst and the most despicable human behavior that you can imagine, because it is associating partners with the Almighty. So I, I'm bewildered by your delusional understanding of reality, that somehow Islam is going to look bad because the way Hashim's questioning you, and the very beliefs that you are propagating are in of themselves as bad as they are. And I can't put it in any clearer terms.
Well, you are saying that associating partners with the god is uh, incorrect. I get you that, but we are not associating partners with God over here. We are accessing, like, for us, like, everything is God. So, like, we don't worship the idol per se. Okay, we invite the deity to the idol,
That's
and
not
we
true.
worship. We worship as per it is. It is, my friend. It
So
is.
I'll explain
if
to you.
everything
I'll
is God,
explain to
why
you.
don't you worship
Look at
everything then,
if you
including
look
that?
at study our culture, like, you would find many instances of such things of, like, why the worship is there. Worship is there to reach the Brahman, not to worship Brahman, because
So let me
we are
just explain.
Brahman.
Let me just explain something to you. When I drive my car down the motorway, then I need to go to the petrol station to get a booster, right? Get petrol or diesel or whatever to actually carry on down the motorway. Your description of these idols to get to God is okay. We need these intermediaries. We need these boosters. Is an insult to the Almighty. Is an insult to human intellect. Is an insult to anybody who values critical thinking. And to come onto this stream and to speak about idol worship as if it's not associating partners with God is the height of delusion. I am
See,
absolutely shocked
yeah,
that you
your
can sit, you
your
can come here as an Hindu and you can
opinion.
say that worshipping an idol,
What
feeding
it
an
is.
idol, creating an idol is not associating partners with God. If that's not associating partners with God, then what is associating partners with God?
Yeah, so you consider God to be separate from everything, right? You are separate, I am separate, God is separate. For us, it's not the case. So if you realize this fundamental thing, then it will be clear to you. Okay.
Yeah,
And
but
whatever
when you
you
say
say,
it,
saying
One
opinion,
second,
and
one second,
I'm just trying to
one second.
explain it to you what it is.
Let me
If you like it, don't like it. Don't,
our
don't have
theology is coherent. Your theology is incoherent. I'll explain to you why. We
yeah.
believe God is transcendent of creation and so doesn't have the deficiencies of creation. You believe God is within creation, but guess what? You're not even consistent in that belief, because if you believe God is within creation, you don't need to make idols because everything is equally God. Why are you making idols?
Yeah,
So
because there
we
is a
are at least consistent and coherent. You're inconsistent and incoherent. I want you to realize something. You can't play that card of the only difference between us and you is we believe God to be separate to creation. You believe God to be within creation, because it's not just a case where we come from two different paradigms. Your paradigm is in of itself self-referentially incoherent. It refutes itself. The very creation of an idol is a refutation of the idea that God is equally in everything. If God is equally in everything, why would you need to make idols in the first place?
let me explain to you. To focus, like, it is the technique of technology of focus, that is yoga, right? So when you chant with the particular image of a deity in mind, that is what idol is basically. Okay, so that image is your focal point, and what our yoga technology tells us that the kundalini from the base chakra rises to the spine, the Shakti meets the Shiva. That's when the liberation occurs in a human. Okay, this is a way, this is a technology through which we can comprehend the reality. Okay.
That's
Now you
incoherent.
might
I'll tell you why.
agree
I'll
to it.
tell you why that's
You
incoherent.
might so you
I'll
might
tell
have
I'll tell
other
I'll tell you why
experience.
that's incoherent. I'll tell you why that's incoherent. You
I'm
use the
listening.
word focus. Didn't you use the word focus? We use it to focus. If God is equally in all of creation, you don't need to focus because God is not in a particular place or direction. God is, according to you, everywhere. God, according to you, is in all of creation. So you don't need to focus because God is in this cup, God is in your brain, God is in the shelf. From the Islamic perspective, God is transcendent of creation, free of the deficiencies of creation. And when we focus
God
on
is
God,
finite.
our
God is
focus
limited.
makes sense. Your focus makes no sense because God is as equally. Answer me this question. Isn't God equally in a idol of Ganesh as much as he is in this coffee cup? Yes, he is, according to
Yeah,
your own belief. So
yeah.
your use of the word focus is your admission of the incoherency and the inconsistency, the internal inconsistency of the Hindu theological framework.
Okay, so you are saying that why I'm not worshipping this cup, right? Is that what you're saying?
No,
No.
what I'm saying is you use the word focus. Didn't you use the word focus?
Yeah, I've used the word focus. What is the
Okay,
point?
okay,
Elaborate me the point in the
okay. Let's break it down. Let's break it down. This cup has equal amount of God as an idol, according to your theology. Yes or no?
amount of God. I don't know. Like if you're saying it by quantity,
No,
I
but according to you, everything is God. So the
Okay,
atoms and molecules
yeah,
of that.
I think it's
I
a
am
simple
saying,
I think it's a simple case of I'm gonna have to state what the problem is because you're not understanding what the problem is.
I'm saying all
You use the word
qualitative.
focus. God is in this cup of coffee.
God
God
is
is in an idol. So for you to say focus is inconsistent with your idea that God is everywhere. And if you don't understand that, I can't help you. But that's what it is. I'm stating the problem as it is.
You can speak. Like I tried to speak, but I couldn't. So
Did you understand the question, Pratham?
not really. Like
Okay,
like
so
just ask.
basically, you mentioned about focus on idols. There are Hindus who cannot just pray to this transcendent God. So they have to build an idol and focus on that.
No,
In a
man. No,
nutshell, that's what you said earlier, right?
no, no. I'm not saying that you need to pray to the ultimate God. You have
No,
to
you
be.
said invite the deities in the idol. You
Yeah.
mentioned this. Okay,
So
so when you
there is.
invite the deity in the idol, is is the deity now inside the idol?
So basically, if you can allow me to speak like for 30 seconds, maybe at least, like basically, there is some kind of communication with the deity, with the consciousness of the deity, with the with whoever wants to be receptive of that, whoever has that capability through sadhana. So that becomes
That doesn't
possible.
answer my question. I asked you specifically when you actually invite the deity, like
Hmm.
during the inauguration of Ram Mandir, they had the Pran Pratishtha.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, in the Ram Lalla, this child Ram, the idol of the child Ram Lalla. When they performed this ritual of Pran Pratishtha, did they invite Ram inside
Lord Ram.
this idol?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
So now the
the
question is, do the Hindus actually believe that during the ritual or after the ritual of Pran Pratishtha, Ram actually resides in this idol? Do you believe that?
Ram resides everywhere, as God resides everywhere. Okay, if you
Okay, so
create
Ram
God.
is not an avatar now. He's more like an Ishwar for you.
So yeah, so if we are
Which one is it?
yeah,
Is it avatar or is it Ishwar?
so Avatar is Ishwar itself, right?
No, it's not. Avatar is the incarnation of the Ishwar. Like he's the avatar of Vishnu. So
So
he's
like
the
Brahm,
he's the
you don't
seventh.
say
Is it
Ishwar,
the
you say
seventh
Brahm.
avatar? of
You say
Vishnu, and Krishna is the 8th avatar.
yeah, but for a sadhak of Ram, okay, who wants to reach the Brahman, who wants to reach the ultimate through Ram, for him the Ram is everything. Ram is the God, and that is
Okay.
that reality. That is his reality, and that is correct. If
Okay.
I,
So
as
for
a
you, wait a minute.
worshipper,
Let me get this right.
yeah,
For you, for this Bhakt of Ram, he's like everything. Yeah, he's the Bhagwan. He's the
yeah,
God. So
yeah.
Ram is everywhere, and also, what is the point of? So Subboor is asking you, what is the point of this ritual if Ram is everywhere? Why inviting him inside the idol?
Yeah.
That is the
So
That's
question.
that is
look,
what
look, Hashim, that
Yeah.
is the problem. It's not a problem that's solvable, no matter how much he speaks. I'm gonna head off now, guys. You have a nice day.
All right. Jazakallah khair, Subboor bhai. Assalamu alaikum.
Like,
Right. Yeah. So Pratham, did you understand the question?
yeah.
If Ram is everywhere, according to this Bhakt of Ram, then what is the point of inviting him inside the Ram Lalla statue?
So that is the technology of rituals that is prescribed to us in the Vedas. Okay, that's how we worship a particular deity. So in case of Ram, we worship it in the
I didn't
traditional.
ask you how you worship him. I'm asking you about the concept of invitation of Ram inside an idol, which is created by
Hashim,
men.
he's answered it, because what he's saying is, look, I'm not going to use my mind to understand that it doesn't make any sense. I'm just going to go, and say and pass it off, and by saying that, this is something that is prescribed to us. What we're trying to teach
But
you
it
or
works.
show you
It works.
is that
It is verified.
it doesn't
If
make
you
any sense. It's
if
illogical and it's irrational.
if you meet
Pratham, let
a
me ask you a very simple question. The
at least let
people
me
that are
speak,
living
man.
in China that are
Can you at
not
least let me speak?
worshipping Ram, and the
Uh-huh.
people that are living in Africa that are not worshipping Ram and these idols,
Mm.
are they then people that are that are outside the fold of what's known as understanding that basically what's to be successful in life and fulfilling their purpose? Because from your understanding
And
is
what is
that
your question? You're just
sorry.
speaking and speaking. What is your question? Can you just frame
The
the question?
question is Hinduism is prevalent in India, right? That's the
Okay.
question. And the way it manifests itself is through the worship of these idols, right? Which you have
Mhm.
now demonstrated and said this is a practice that you yourself do. I'm guessing that you have idols in your home. I'm saying, what about all of these guys across the world that don't have idols, right?
Many do. Many do.
Yeah, so what I'm saying
Many
to you,
do. If you look at
it's
various cultures, they do.
yeah.
They do have a particular
Have you
technology
have
of.
you ever seen any idols amongst the Muslims?
Um, I'm not sure. No.
Because
No,
we
you
don't
haven't.
worship idols. We can
Exactly.
reach God without a intermediary, either a living human or an animal or an idol or anything. We don't need. We can communicate directly to God.
You
Why do the
can't.
Hindus don't have that concept?
You can't. Can you tell me one
Uh,
Muslim who has communicated to God?
yes, Prophet Muhammad, peace be
Yes.
upon him. Yeah.
All
Sallallahu
the
But
alaihi wasallam.
you
prophets of
In
God.
fact,
don't.
all
But
the
you
prophets
believe
got the
that.
revelation from Allah.
You believe that, right? But we can tell
Musa
you
alayhi
many.
salam used to communicate to him.
We
Yes,
can
the
tell you
Christians will tell you
many,
this as well.
many
The Jews
pastikas.
will tell you this as well. So it's not just us Muslims who believe this. We have a whole Abrahamic faith. We are talking about billions of people on the planet who actually know this. Anyway, Pratham, thanks for your time. I think we are just going in circles. But before you go, I want your view on this particular. Just one sec. Is it this one here?
What's the use, man? I've been trying to speak and you are not letting me speak.
Hey, come on, stop playing that drama
Whatever.
with me. If you watch
11.
this video, the amount of time you spoke was every time you spoke, we didn't cut you off. We let you
You've
speak.
been here on at least
You
45 minutes.
Exactly.
three,
Yeah, and he's
four
still
people
complaining.
speaking every time, and I'm just getting 30 seconds. What is what, man? Come on. I'm just
Honestly,
okay. In a
what
very
is it you want to
simple
say? Go
example.
ahead. What is it you want to say?
I know. I was just talking in context of the questions that you were asking. Like I wanted to
Exactly. And
explain
we
to you
let
a
you
bit
talk.
better. I
We
Arey,
let you talk.
now
Did
the
we not?
questions are not there. Now you ask me a question, I'll answer that. But at
We
least
let you
give me.
talk already.
Okay,
Okay,
what is
tell
the
me what do you think about this?
tell me.
Originally, it was set down as a traffic barricade. Now, the only people it stops are worshippers.
Hindus come from around the world to worship before it. It was once a granite traffic barricade at San Francisco's Golden Gate Park. It's now revered by thousands as a monument to the Hindu god Shiva. Mystery solved thanks to Jim Wofford. 4 years ago, he moved the stone there, as he's done with hundreds of stones in his job as a crane operator.
We just placed it there in case they wanted to put it somewhere, maybe for a traffic barricade or an entrance to a building.
Soon, local Indian nationals noted the stone's phallic shape could be seen as the symbol of the Hindu god of power, Shiva. They burn incense and offer milk and honey.
Cool water and cool milk, that he like.
Now, some devotees want the site dedicated as a permanent temple.
If someone wants to come into Golden Gate Park and bow down to a stone or to a tree, that's their business. We could care less.
But no temples on Sikh.
Originally, it was.
Right. What do you make of that, Pratham? You're a Shiva, Bhakt, aren't you? So what do you make of that?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't know. You're just talking over me, so I'm saying that. So I don't ascribe to this. These are the basic flaws, maybe, or you can say softness of Indian wives who are staying there, who have some devotional in themselves. It's mostly made up. In India also, like if you see a rock shaped like a shivling, and people will start worshiping the remote. That's completely got to do with the people over there, but it doesn't have to do anything.
Do you consider it to be wrong?
I consider it to be a stupidity. It has nothing wrong.
Why would you call it stupidity? This is their worship, it's their God. Earlier you said that anyone can worship the way they want. Why are you calling their worship stupid now?
Yeah, but there is a methodology of worship. There has to be a sanctum.
You never mentioned about any method earlier. You just said everyone is free to worship what they want.
I just told you that there are rituals.
This is their ritual, by the way.
No,
by
this
putting,
is
like Vimla Ben said, put cold milk, cold water. That is a ritual. Why are you mocking them now and calling them stupid?
I'm sure you do that in your house, Pratham, with your family.
If you let me speak, man, then I'll only speak. Okay, like it's already late and I don't want to be interrupted like continuously. Okay, I think I'm not being heard over here. So
okay,
they are worshiping.
We'll give you opportunity to speak.
Yeah. So if they are blocking a public property and causing mayhem and worshipping something out of no basis, that makes no sense. We Hindus don't ascribe to that. Okay. So worship happens like in a particular way. There has to be a sanctum. It has to be purified through mantras, through rituals. Then there has to be a proper idol on which the pratishtha of that particular deity has to be done. And then only, that becomes a holy place. That becomes a place of worship. If I can also, put a shivling in my roof and worship, it doesn't mean anything. You can do that. Now, I don't know what is bad or good. You tell me. If it's good for you, it's good. Bad for you, it's
are the
bad.
one who said that every single atom contains God. So maybe this traffic barricade, which they were worshipping, according to them, contains God.
Yeah, it does, but you won't be able to realize it through this.
Why are you saying you won't be able to realize? Maybe they did realize it.
Because that
These
is not
Hindus who are worshipping it. And by the way, this traffic barricade wasn't blocking anyone's way. It was. I'll give you. Actually, he did narrate the story, but I'll just tell you again in case you didn't hear it. So this was a traffic barricade. Somebody put it in the park. Okay, I think it was a Central Park in New York, and because it is the shape of the shivling, which the people of your particular tradition worship, they thought that this is something which deserves worship. So they started to put garlands around it and cold milk and water and honey, whatever they put on top of the shivling, and they started to worship it. Okay, maybe they have a different ritual than yours. How can you dictate to them how to worship their God and call them stupid?
The way to worship is dictated in scriptures, right? You can't just worship in any way. Correct? There is a special way to worship Shiv. There is a special way to worship Vishnu. There is a special way to worship Shakti. You can't just do worship like that. You can pray like that, okay, but that is not worshiping, right? That is
But you
not
see,
leading. Again, the
you know,
purpose of worship is
the
to
fact that you
transcend.
said it's stupid, it just shows that you as a person who, when you start thinking rationally, yes,
Mhm. I
let's say
am.
without minus all these rituals, at the end of the day,
Currently,
that is
I'm
just a
thinking
traffic
that.
barricade, right? For you and me. Am I right? It's just a traffic barricade. Now you tell me, using your rational understanding, how can this traffic barricade become a living God? If you go through the Pran Pratishta and you place it in a temple, maybe, and then it could become a living God.
Did I say that it will become a
I'm
living God?
asking you, it's not a statement, it's a question.
Are you implying that, right?
No, I'm
So I
not.
never
I'm
said
asking you a
that.
question. Because to me, look, as an outsider who's not a Hindu, I see a statue like the Ram Lalla, which was handcrafted by a human. And then you're
So
saying when you go through the rituals, this Ram enters it, as a deity, because you're inviting this deity into the into the idol.
I know
To
for a
me,
fact
they
that
are both stones, whether it's a traffic barricade or this
I
handcrafted statue of Ram Lalla. They both are stone. They both are idols in different form and shape. Okay, why does the ritual make it any different?
so in I know for a fact, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. In Islam also,
No, don't go
when
to Islam. First
no
answer
no no
this
no,
question.
just hear me out. Just hear me
Yeah,
out.
but look, my friend, I will hear you out, but first answer this question.
So I am talking the talk of in terms of mantra. Okay, you have something in Islam similar to that also. Like in Islam, I know for a fact the Hakims who treat like supernatural things. There are people, at least in our local culture in India, okay, that we hear of. They speak certain chants. They speak certain syllables in a particular manner that causes certain things to happen which is beyond you and our perception, my
Yeah,
perception.
but we
No,
are
no,
not talking about human beings
you're evading
who are
the answer. You're
conscious. We are
evading the
talking
question.
about
Yeah.
rocks here. Big
Yeah,
difference.
I
When
was
you're
coming to
curing
that.
someone
I was
with the
coming to
ayat
that.
of the Quran,
I was
okay,
coming to
that's
that.
very different. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Here we are talking, the focus here is on stones, inanimate objects.
So that's
Okay?
just
You and
just
and the second thing is you're inviting gods into these inanimate objects. That is very
I was
different to saying
just
something,
saying that.
some words to cure someone. Very different, completely different concept. So
You're
don't
just
false equivocate here.
yeah, like you didn't even know that I was equivocated because you didn't let
You
me
are
finish.
equivocating already.
No,
Two
because you
different
didn't hear
things.
me out,
We
man.
don't
I didn't
say we
I
don't say
didn't interrupt
we
you.
don't invite
I'm
Allah
keeping
into
away,
any of
man.
the
If I need to
creation.
go, to be honest, I
You
need to
do.
go. Okay, like please, I don't want to discuss like this because I'm trying to say and you're just cutting me in half. I was coming
Yeah,
to that.
because you are
I was coming
false
to the question.
equivocating. That's the reason. I said stick to the question, but you had
I
to
was trying
so you had to go into this what aboutery.
I was trying to make you understand the concept of mantras. Like this is similar to many cultures. Like
It's not
it.
similar at
Again,
all.
you're
At
evading
least
the
hear me out.
question.
At least hear
You're
me out.
evading the
Hear me
question.
out. You're speaking for 40 seconds. Let me at least speak for at least 20 seconds. Then it will be clear to you.
I gave you the opportunity.
Like
You went
you
into
have
what
told me,
aboutery.
you have told me a lot of times that we are inviting the God inside the deity. I have
Yeah.
never
That's
claimed that.
because you said it, not I
No,
said.
I have never said that. Your viewers
You
can
can
watch.
go and watch the video. You did say
You
it
can.
very
I'm
clearly. Don't backtrack now.
no. I'm saying that you through deity, the deity is invited. The consciousness of the deity through which you can communicate, through which you can rise in your sadhana. That is established. I'm not saying that okay, physically God is there and He will do everything for you. I'm not going into that. But there is a consciousness of that deity. I mean, the deity is very close to you. The last stage would be the deity would become you. Okay, that is the end point of worship. So please hear
Now,
me out.
now,
So
now we
through,
have
through the
gone
rock idol,
completely off track again.
so through
I
the
asked you
rock
a very
idol.
specific question with regards to those people who are worshipping the traffic barricade, and you call their worship as. How do you know they haven't done pran pratishtha like you? How do you know that?
If they have, I don't think they can do it like that.
Okay.
Just
Anyway,
you and
thanks.
I would know that,
Thanks a
right?
lot. It just shows your hypocrisy.
Uh,
That for you, when you recite the
call
rituals,
me
the
names,
God
man.
comes alive, but for
Call me
them it's
names.
not, and you call them stupid.
You ask me questions, I told you answers. Don't call me names, brother. Okay,
You
it
call
does.
them names by calling them
It
stupid.
doesn't. It doesn't show.
It doesn't. You don't like it when it's called to you, right?
I told that the action is stupid. If it's causing public discomfort, then it is stupid.
It didn't
Absolutely.
cause any public discomfort, in fact.
Then that's fine. Then it's okay. If they're worshipping,
Okay,
then why are
so
people?
worshipping a traffic barricade is okay now, yeah?
Well, if
So
it's not
illogical.
harm to anything, then it's fine. I think
All right,
everything.
Pratham. Thanks for your time, mate. You
Yeah,
go to
but
sleep.
don't
You're
call
sleepy
it
now.
names. Okay?
All right,
It
take care.
did
Bye-bye.
feel bad.
Seriously,